The River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has dismissed any notion of political crisis in River State, adding that pressure mounted by the political crisis has been weathered sufficiently, giving way for his administration to provide focused leadership and governance to the people of the state.
Governor Fubara made the assertion when he hosted members of the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions, led by its chairman, Honorable Mike Etaba, on a courtesy visit at Government House in Port Harcourt on Saturday night. The governor explained how the pressure from the unwarranted political crisis served as an enabler to strengthen his commitment to service that is now impacting lives positively. Joining us this morning is Jerry Omatsogunwa, who is going to be looking at the story and getting into the conversation with us, but he'll be joining us much later on in the show. But I wish him all the best. Congratulations. I don't know what he means by there's no political crisis in Rivers. There has been a political crisis. Maybe he's trying to say that it's time for him to face governance, which he did say. He quoted Al Pacino in I've forgotten, Devil's Advocate. You're talking about how this pressure is inspiring him to do more as opposed to run away. Talking about how it's season for governance and how they are prioritizing governance now. There has been political crisis in Rivers, and it will be great. It will be for the benefit of the people of Rivers State that the crisis actually comes to an end. I don't know what that would look like, what the picture of the crisis coming to an end in Rivers State looks like, whether it would look like, no further bickering between him and Jerry Omaza here and there, no further resignings. I mean, we talked about the last two people who resigned from his cabinet last week. So maybe no further resignings and all the people coming together to say, you know what, enough of all the politics and politicking. Rivers State is our state and we have to make it work, regardless of who we are making our alliance with. At the end of the day, what's most important is the people of Rivers State.
I mean, he can choose to, Sim Fubara can choose to, bring out his white flag. He can decide that he's done and wants to focus on governance in the state. Doesn't mean that the people who have been, against him are going to do the same thing. Doesn't mean that the forces from the FCT will do the same thing. Doesn't mean that those on the State House of Assembly level or its commissioners will do the same thing. And that's the painful part about politics. When interests are being fractured or are being tampered with, the fight will continue till everybody's interest. At least there's a middle ground somehow, somewhere. And it doesn't sound like there has been any middle ground. If he's choosing to focus on development in River State, then of course great for the state. But what does that even mean? What is his interpretation of development for River State and governance for River State? What is the plans that he has for the state? In what levels, what ways can we rate development in River State after 4 years? He still has a couple of years to go. And what standards are we going to judge him by? Because yes, I mean, this is a different part of the conversation entirely, but it's important to mention. Jerry Omaza also did, his own time there as governor. He would also beat his chest and say, this is what I did for River State.
But all the
There's people, exactly. People would also argue that, human development index didn't improve in River State. All you did was build a few bridges and a few roads here and there. Which of course you'd be given credit for, but it's not. You can't say that this is governance and this is what you brought for River State. And so he also has to prove to the people of River State that he will improve on their wealth and quality of lives that they will experience under his watch, and of course under his stewardship as governor. But while he's trying to do that, will his political detractors, as they're called, would they allow him breathe and allow him govern? Are they also interested in what is best for River State? Are the commissioners who are resigning now because he tried to do a cabinet reshuffle, are they also interested in what is best for the people of River State? Or are they, interested in their own personal interest?
Are they all going to shake their swords? And what happens to the memorandum of peace that was signed in Abuja, or allegedly signed in Abuja, spearheaded by the president of the country? What happens to that? Is Jerry Omaza now going to fully face the FCT and forget about battling for political structures in River State? I think these are the questions that we need answers to. I don't know if he's saying that as a motivational speaker, when you're aspiring and perspiring for the best. I don't know if he's saying this as, I'm not going to play that dirty game with them. But it takes two. There has to be an agreement. Or can two work together unless they be agreed? Like you've mentioned, if he says he's done, but they're not done, then he still has problem on his hands.
He's still the executive governor of the state, so, a lot of the powers, are still, up to him. But for a smooth running of the state, he does need these people to also fall in line and, to also carry out, his policies and the things that he believes in. The whole chaos has been too embarrassing since it started, right from day one, where there was, videos of him being, I think it was water cannons or so that were fired in his way while he was, walking on the streets, to, of course, the demolition of the River State House of Assembly complex, to, the comments being made by the former governor of the state, to the peace agreement being signed in the FCT that nobody agrees with. There's just been too many layers to this one. To, of course, the members of the House of Assembly that, ported to a different political party. And till now, people still argue that they should have lost their seats, for that move. So there's just been too many things that have happened in the last couple of months since he became governor that I don't know if we would just simply, people would just simply move on from it because he has decided to sheath his sword and focus on governance. You can't just move on like that. And in a sane society, a lot of these things should be recalled and should be brought back for proper conversation. Why was the House of Assembly demolished? And questions should be asked with regards to that. The people who ported from one political party to the other, do they still have their seats? Is some political agreement in the FCT, is that recognized in Nigeria's constitution as a way to no longer question the infractions that happened within the state that really should, to some extent, be enough for impeachment? The high-handedness that might have shown that should be enough for impeachment here and there. So. But of course, this is Nigeria, so like Dambilo would say.
When you mentioned the demolition of the assembly complex, I just remembered, because I was thinking about it when you mentioned it. I was just wondering, we never might get an explanation about that, an honest explanation about what really happened with the assembly complex, because what they're talking about was the structure, and they were checking the, I've forgotten the exact words that were used, but checking how healthy the structure is and fit for purpose, which is why they decided to demolish it. Demolishing it with all the equipment inside, a structure that was built with taxpayers' money. Are we ever going to get an honest explanation about what happened with that assembly structure? And is anyone ever going to take responsibility? Are there going to ever be consequences for what happened there?
Not very likely. But these are the current developments, from the state, and of course it's important that we would continue to X-ray and see where these things lead. But we currently, have joining us the Special Assistant to Governor Fubara on Electronic Media, Jerry Omatsogunwa. Good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, viewers at home and wherever you're watching us from.
Thanks for joining us. So share with us, when the governor says that, he is moving on and is focused now on governance, for Rivers State, and, what comes, at least for the betterment of the lives of the people of Rivers State. What does he mean by that, while we're still dealing with commissioners that, decided to resign, while we still have a House of Assembly that may not necessarily be all for the governor? What does he mean?
Before I'll answer your question on no troubles in Rivers State, let me start from the House of Assembly that you people talked about. The former administration under Wike, when he was commissioning the speaker's residence sometimes ago at Amadi Flat, he said that the House of Assembly complex has loose integrity, that over time is going to demolish that house and build a befitting house. When that fire incident for the MD and integrity test was carried out on that structure, at the end of the day, the test shows that that place is not inhabitable to do government business. And hence, it has to go down so that a new befitting structure for Rivers State has to be built at the end of the day. If it rains, pray that you're not there. The rain didn't meet you there because it's leaking like baskets. And who does that? That at the end of the day, you go there for legislative duties and it rained, everything is just washed away. It's not a good development at all. Else, the governor in his wisdom has to bring that complex down. Why that is done, the 2024 budget has the provision for the rebuilding of that assembly. And back to your question.
Sorry, before you move away from,
this.
before you go back to his question, I just want to interject there, since we're talking about the Assembly complex. Eyewitnesses who were there at the point of the demolition of the House of Assembly complex at the time that it was demolished stated that it was demolished with a number of its properties, a number of the properties inside and documents and all of that inside, in a manner akin to it being demolished hastily. Can you explain that?
The place was burnt now. Did your correspondent visit the Halloween chamber after the fire incident? There was nothing remaining, so integrity test carried as at the period carrying out the integrity test. Some of the property that belonged to people were removed, and at the end of the day, the demolition took place. There was a notice, and the demolition took place. So there was no property belonging to individual inside.
Okay, so you say there was no property inside while the demolition was going on, or that they got their properties after?
Yes, I said so. I said so.
All right, please go ahead. Now you can go back to my
question. For the peace in the River State, no more troubles. You recall, if you follow up as event unfold, that our IGR in River State here was 13 billion. And it moved to 27 billion. In case you're not aware, I'm informing you right now. Can you achieve that feat of over 15 billion where there is no peace? As I'm talking to you now, I'm going to my office, and I tell you that nobody will ask me, where are you going or where are you coming from? You can move at any time in River State here. At night business are booming, and everywhere is booming. Projects are going on, the Port Harcourt Ring Road is going on, the 20,000 housing unit is going on. Whether that's going to stop work or don't stop work. So I don't know where they get the assertion that there's no peace in River State. There's absolute peace in River State. People are moving on to do their own thing as the Constitution allows them.
This peace that you speak about in River State, are you talking about the current reality, or that there has been peace in River State?
No, I'm talking about presently. From the period we grow from to 27 billion and onward, there is peace right now in River State.
Just last week, the governor reshuffled his cabinet, and we did see that there were some resignations that had happened. At the time when these resignations happened, would you say that there was peace in the state? Also, this peace that you speak about, would you say that those who are firmly in support of Governor Nyesom Wike's camp are in line with this, including Governor Nyesom Wike himself?
As at the time there was reshuffling in the cabinet, I will tell you that it's within the right of the governor to reshuffle his cabinet, knowing too well that he will be the one to take the blame if there is any mistake in cabinet. So it's within his right. So if they decide that they are not working because they reshuffle the cabinet and they took them to areas that they don't like, it's within their own right to resign. And I ask you a question, even though you are the one that's supposed to ask a question here. When they sent their names to the assembly, did they say, oh, Adango, you're going to be justice minister, so clear him as justice commissioner. Kamalu, you're going to be minister of finance, so send the name, put it, commissioner of finance designate, before it gets to the assembly, and all the questions they will ask him will be based on finance. They didn't do that. They were asked general questions, so it means that they can play in any side of the team, any wing that they are taking to. I tell you a typical example. This commissioner team is like a football team. I know that Obi used to play attacking midfield. I think about 8 or 10. I can't remember. I'm a football fan. But at the time when he entered Chelsea, when he was signed in Chelsea, he was taken to defensive midfield and he played very well. That's the same thing that the governor did. And they said they cannot play in that way. They resigned. It's within their right. It doesn't make if there is peace or no peace as at that time.
The political crisis in the state, would you describe it as currently stable? Absolutely nothing to worry about. Everybody is working for the good of the people of River State. Is that how you would describe it? I cannot say
everybody is working for the peace and good of River State. The assembly, for instance, I don't know what they are working on right now. But on the side of the governor is absolute peace. See, let me tell you something. If you throw stone at every dog that bark at you, you may not get to your destination. The governor has decided not to be distracted. He said it from beginning until today, he still maintained it, that there is no distraction that will make him not to carry out to provide for the welfare and well-being of the people. So if the other people are still cooking up something, for him, this is absolute peace, and I want to work for the benefit of Rivers people. I tell you something, at the end of the day, nobody will vote him back if he wants to go for second tenure for the amount of war he fought. They will vote him for how many lives he's been able to touch, just as he's doing right now. And I can tell you categorically that Rivers State has been rated as one of the best in the South when it comes to primary health care. Rivers State Governor, about 100 organizations came together and said he is the governor of the year when they compare all the governors that were sworn in last year, May 29. So that is his focus, and that is what he's focusing on. I tell you, for instance, before the crisis, there are 4 bills that the executive sent to the assembly. The bill to empower Rivers State to provide for power for each citizenry, since the power has been deregularized or deregulated at the end of the day. So the bill is before them. They've not touched that. All they are doing is to build to protect themselves and how to cause problems. But the governor have decided that, look, I am focused and I want to deliver a deal of democracy to the people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just try to figure out how that is going to be achieved without a state house of assembly, that has that is working in tandem with the governor, and working, with the same goals, with the governor. How does he plan to achieve some of all these, these policies? That's one. And then another thing is, when you say that, Rivers State has been rated highest, with regards to primary health care, it's also been able to generate, 27 billion IGR. How did this, get achieved in just a few months since, he became governor?
Well, prudent, blocking loopholes, and all those put together. So the governor, as you know, is an accountant by profession, and he was also accountant general of the state, and is very prudent when it comes to spending Rivers people's money. So without blocking loopholes and all those, he was able to get that.
So while he was accountant general, he was aware that there were loopholes through which Rivers State money was being mismanaged.
Who called the shot as at that time? Who does the ball fall back to at the end of the day?
Yeah, that was the governor. But what I'm saying is, while he was accountant general, are you saying that he was aware that Rivers State had its, had many loopholes through which his money was being diverted or being mismanaged?
It's not left for the governor as at that time. I think it's the one that should be the one to answer that question, not him right now. He has done the right thing, and I think we should be praising him for doing the right thing.
Okay.
All right. No, go ahead. So he's blocked loopholes that he, very likely was aware of while he was, before he became governor.
No, I don't think he was aware of that. If the present governor is the former governor was not aware of that, then I think he too. Maybe there were foul play that was going on, and I decided not to be part of it.
No, but you said that he blocked loopholes.
What? I'm coming.
I will let you go on. I just want to be clear.
I'm coming. What does the former governor mean when he said the structures are being demolished by the present governor?
I think you're in the best position to tell us what he means.
No, I mean, but so these are we're going in the same direction. I just want you to be clear on what you're saying. The structures that you're talking about, are you then saying that the structures you're talking about are the structures that allowed for these loopholes through which Rivers State money was, was leaking out? Are those, what
maybe,
the structures?
The former governor, like media chat, maybe the next one you should apply to be part of it and throw that question to him.
All right, tell us about
what is structure.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm asking what is structure. Maybe it should be part of it, or send a message to his next media chat so that we can know what the structure really stands for, if not for this.
Okay, so what it seems that you're saying is that the former governor, Nyesom Wike, had, his political structures in the state through which River State money, running into billions of naira.
I didn't come money here. I'm just asking what does it mean by structure?
I mean, I would assume that you're in a better position to know, seeing as you're in River State, you're in the government.
No, I said I am not in the position to know that the next media shot that the former governor will be attempting, maybe it should be part of it so that you can ask him so that he's clear on that.
My final question will be if you can tell us what's the current relationship between the past governor and the present governor like?
I don't think the present governor needs any relationship with the former governor to develop the state. In Akwa Ibom State, even in the other day we were in Bayelsa State, we saw Dixon. We paid a private visit to the governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Jerry. Dixon was there, but you had the former governor in his last media shot that all hope of reconciliation between him and government is gone right now. And what can we do? Like the Bible will say, what can the righteous do when things are not okay?
So I take it that they don't have a good relationship, but this will still not hamper, the work that the current administration has to do. Is that it?
People say something, that the frowning of the ego does not stop the native doctor from using it for scripts. So the government will go ahead with his development strive because that's what River people the relationship can come up later.
Yeah, my last question to you is, you mentioned structure and former Governor Nyesom Wike's structure. Was Sim Fubara part of the structure?
I think I still have the answer. You wait for the next media shot. It's very good at media shot. And asking.
Yeah, but I'm asking from what you said, that he mentioned structure.
We are not aware if he's part of the structure.
All right.
If he's part of the structure, why would there be quarrel, fighting, and infighting, and all those, trying to instigate people to impeach the same person that you think is part of the structure?
All right, Mr. Omatsogunwa, Jerry, you've spoken so much about this peace, stating that there really is peace in River State. I'm hoping that when we speak with the people of River State, they would reflect the same thought pattern.
There is no problem. Like I said, I'll be leaving my house any moment from now to the office, and I tell you, nobody will harass me. Nobody will ask, who goes you or who doesn't goes you, like before. But I tell you, there is peace, and investors are coming one after the other and see how to join us to develop River State.
I mean, it's for the benefit of the people of River State that everything works out well. Thank you so much for joining us, Jerry Omaza. Special Assistant to Governor Fubara. I was saying that it is in the interest of the people of River State and Nigeria that there is peace. So yes, we are definitely up for peace. We're in support of peace because we want governance to take the front seat. So thank you very much, Mr. Omatsoguma, for joining us.